Hi guys, and of course ladies, I'm Michael McDonough, host of Envision TV's new series, Spotlight on Excellence. I created Spotlight on Excellence to deliver business education programming that helps entrepreneurs like you reach the pinnacle of success. To further that idea, I've developed a goal planning system called Mastering Action Plans for Success, or MAPS for short. This system is based on the same program that helped me become a successful young stockbroker and that I continue to use as a tool to help hundreds of financial professionals under my wing reach their financial goals. And now you have 3 ways to take advantage of this essential tool for making your dreams come true. First, I'm offering you the basic package absolutely free. It comes with a video presentation, a workbook, and I've even thrown in a couple of bonuses. Just click the free button below. But if you feel you'd like some one-on-one time with me to get a better understanding of how this can work for you, I'm offering a deluxe package for the unbelievably low price of $97 that comes with a personal compass section to get you started in the right direction. And if you're really action-oriented and want to get the most value out of MAPS, you can choose the premium package, which comes with 3 bi-weekly compass sessions and a guidepost session at the end of the year to assess your success, and if you need it, I'll give you a little tune-up to ensure that you enjoy even greater success in 2015. This is definitely the best bang for your buck. What would you accomplish if you knew you couldn't fail? Just give me a call or send me an email to request your personal compass sessions, and I'll be your guide as we walk together down the road to success. No matter which package you choose, I'm so sure you'll be satisfied that I'll also include a money-back guarantee. You can make your dreams come true with Mastering Action Plans for Success. Just click on one of the links below for your map to success.
passing out now is your master dream list. There are some pencils on the table. You can start this, or you can just make some notes. Know that the first step to achieving your goal is to know why you've set the goal in the first place. We're going to talk about your income goal. It's not just the money, though. It's not the money. It's what the money will get you. Now, that doesn't always mean stuff either. Money gets you things that are not just stuff. It could be pride, and we're going to cover some of that in a minute. But on your master dream list, write down everything you always wanted. Do not be realistic. This is not for realistic dreams. This is for your real dreams. The ones that you would think Donald Trump had, or Steve Jobs had, or things that you can't even imagine are possible, but you would love it to happen to you. Because without those kind of dreams, your income goal really doesn't mean anything. These are the big stuff. It could be the little stuff too, though. It could be a trip to Hawaii. It could be a new car. And that 2 weeks ago, someone said, well, I have goals of this, 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 and this. And Lila said, oh, no, those are like sub-goals. There's this big umbrella goal, and all these other things are sub-goals. You can put all your sub-goals on this. You can put your big goals, your little goals, your vacation goals, your savings goals, your retirement goals, your childhood goals, your spiritual goals, your family goals. All of that goes on here. Because those are the reasons you do what you do, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were still out there. So it really has nothing to do with the money, but it has to do with what the money will do for you. Okay, now this is the real plan. This that they're passing out now is the actual master plan. This is the plan of action. And there's a number of things that this plan of action requires. Now let's see, we were in SMART. S-M-A, what was the R? Realistic, we already did that. What's the T? Timeline. Okay, so, they had to use certain words. I use deadline. SMART just doesn't sound right there. Smart sounds better than smart. So, what I say is every goal needs a deadline. You'll notice that on this sheet, there's a deadline for attainment. Write December 31st, 2014. Because we're talking about a one-year goal here. You can use this plan in any time frame that you really want, but we're going to talk today about your 2014 Year of You goals. So your deadline is December 31st, 2014. And if you haven't hit them by December 30th, you still have a day. Make it count. Always state your goals in the positive tense. There's a couple of ways to think about this. You can say, I'm going to use just for a number, $100,000. Okay, so you could be less or more depending on your goal, but I'm just going to use that because it's a nice round number. It's right in between probably a lot of people's goals. So I'm going to say I will earn $100,000 in 2014. I will, not I want to, I will. A better way to say this is I have earned $100,000 in 2013, as if it's already done. Either way, it's already done. You have to believe that, you have to make that decision, but always state your goal in a positive tense. Whether it's I have done it or I will do it, it's not I hope to do it, maybe one day I'll do it. It would be nice to do it. No, I will do it, or I have done it. Always state in a positive way. The next part says quantitative, right? Remember I said that the money isn't just things, but in this part it is. This is where the measurable part comes in. We're going to talk about measurable a little bit later, but in this case, you need to be able to measure it. So we're saying $100,000. Where's the money going? What are you going to do? Why $100,000? Well, first of all, you might want to put like $45,000 for taxes. Unless you have a really good accountant.
Yes.
Are you a good accountant?
No,
okay. Okay. Yeah, so see Lauren, she's got a very good accountant. But now you might want to say $17,500 in my 401k. You might want to say $10,000 for a trip to Hawaii, or $5,000, depending on where you're going and how long. You might want to say $25,000 for a down payment on my new Tesla. Specific. Remember, the first part of the S is specific. So not only is it a specific goal, but specifically, what are you going to do with that goal, with that money? Because if you don't know where it's going, you have no incentive to make it. It could be, $12,000, no, for me it'd be more like $75,000 to pay my monthly bills. That's not that much. That's just barely $5,000 a month. Yeah, that's a yearly, we're doing a yearly goal. So $100,000, I need to do the math. I need more than 100 to pay my $75,000 just for the monthly bills. But, so this is what you have to figure out. Why do I need the money? This might also make you change your goal by the time you do all these. But you have to know exactly where it's going. That's the quantitative part. And don't worry if your goal needs to be higher, because we're going to show you how to hit it no matter where you put it. All right, so the second part of that is not quantitative, but qualitative. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where, I'll give you an example. When I first became a stockbroker, I've learned this, I've done this myself for over 25 years, however long, I'm not going to tell you exactly, it's over 25 years. My very first one of these, my goal was $100,000. And I thought, in the qualitative part, one of the things I put in there is so my dad would be proud of me. I later found out he would have been proud of me no matter what I made, because that was money. But in my mind, if I made $100,000, he would be proud of me. That's not quantitative, that's qualitative. Another qualitative might be so I can take care of my family. I mean, we've already shown what I need is money ways to take care of my family, but emotionally, that is important to me, to be able to take care of my family. To have the pride of hitting a worthwhile goal. Because if I set a goal and don't hit it, I'm not going to have the pride that I would have if I do hit it. Do you see what I'm saying? These are more the emotional aspects of what hitting a goal will do for you. So you've got quantitative, which is really specific in the dollars. Spend all of the money. And if you have some left, put it in your savings. And on the lines of savings, $20,000, whatever it is. Always spend all the money in the quantitative. And in the qualitative, really think about what is it going to do for me emotionally if I hit this goal. Sometimes that's more important. And for different people, some people might have quantitative reasons that are most important. Some people might think qualitative reasons are more important. In actuality, they're both very important. Okay, now moving on. The next step is where we identify the obstacles. We talked about enthusiasm and determination. You are going to have obstacles in 2014, and if you don't, you didn't set your goal high enough. You are going to have obstacles. Do you agree with me on that? Yes. Guess what? If you identify your obstacles before they happen, it's a lot easier to get past them. One of the obstacles I have is not making enough calls. Now in this case, identifying the obstacle is really just a real general statement. Not making enough calls. Period. And across from that is the solution. Also very general, not very specific, very general. Make more calls. Or make enough calls. Now we're going to get more specific on page 2. But right here, we're just identifying the probable obstacles and identifying the simple solution. We've got obstacles and simple solutions. Not seeing enough people. See enough people. You're going to have much more different things than I had, I'm sure. Not having closing skills. Increase my closing skills. You see the idea, it's a very general here. We're not specific in this section. We're very general. What's the obstacle going to be? And you know what they are, right? We face them every year. They're not going to be a whole lot of new obstacles in your way. If you've been at your business for a while, you're facing obstacles. One of the things you might do is go back over your year and find out what your obstacles were, because you had them. Write them down in a general sense, and write down what it would look like if you overcame those obstacles. Maybe you did overcome it. So what did that look like? Just real general in this section. Okay, everybody with me on that?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, makes sense?
Yep.
Yes. Identify your obstacles. Identify what it looks like to be over your obstacle. Okay, page 2. This is the hard page. So far it's been easy. On this page is where we actually identify the specific action steps that must be taken on a daily basis. Now, I said you can do this the goal is a yearly goal. Now you can break it down into shorter goals. It's not your goal really, it's the action steps that you need to take on a shorter basis. You can do this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Eventually you have to break it down to a day. Whether you do it on this one, or you just put in something more general here, and then use another one of these to break it down on a day. So I'm going to say this. I already told you my goal, my obstacle was not making enough calls. The solution was make enough calls. The action step is make 300 calls per day. Now I don't do that today, but that's what I used to do, and that was on my action plan. The next step was not talking to enough people. Talk to more people. The action step specifically is talk to 50 people per day. Now you'll notice there's a place for a deadline out to the right of these. I'm putting every day for that one, for these, because these are things I have to do every day. This is not something I'm going to do eventually. This is something that's going to happen starting tomorrow, every day. Not seeing enough people. See more people. See 10 people per week. Now when I was new, they told me that you need to make 300 calls a day, talk to 50 people a day, get 10 leads a day. That's 50 at the end of the week. Out of those 50, you can set 15 appointments. Out of those 15 appointments, you'll see 10 people. Out of those 10 people, they'll have the check ready for you. 2 of them will have the check ready when you get there. 2 of them wouldn't buy from you no matter what you had to say. So that leaves me 6 people to actually try to sell. And so on this, I'm writing those specific numbers. These are metrics in my business. You probably have, there's no doubt, you have personal metrics. You have some of these categories that I'm talking about. I don't know if it's number of calls, maybe you don't cold call. So you can't do the breakdown I just did. But every one of you is in some sort of sales. Whether you think you are or not, you're in some sort of sales. If we have a doctor in the room, or is there a doctor in the room? You're in sales, right? You got to sell the patient. You're a chiropractor, right?
Yes.
You got to sell the patient on the fact that this adjustment's going to make you feel better. So you got to see more people every day, right? I mean, so we all have metrics in our businesses. I know we have a lawyer in the room. Who's the lawyer? Steve? Are you the only lawyer here today?
No.
Oh, Louis is back there somewhere.
He's a real lawyer.
Oh, he's right over here. So as a lawyer, you got to sell me that you have the legal solution to the problem that I'm bringing you, right? Every day. So we're all in sales. We all have metrics. We all have to see people. We all have metrics that we have to meet. Now, at the end there, I'm going to pass out what I call the master tracking sheet. This was my actual tracking sheet. And it says dials, contacts, leads, appointments, sales, and commission, which as a stockbroker, you're on commission. So I'm keeping track, and I know how many calls it takes me to make a certain amount of money. I know if I make 300 calls a day, I'm going to talk to 50 people, and this is an average over a week. It may not happen every single day, but it does average out over a week. 300 calls, 50 people, 10 leads, the end of the week, 50 leads, 15 appointments, 10, my average was about 6 sales out of the 10 appointments, actual scene. So I know that my average commission I take my weekly commission, divided by those 6 sales, I know what my average commission is. So this is where the measurable part comes in, and this is where these action steps, I'm bringing it up now because if you know what I just told you I know, then I know exactly how many calls I have to make a certain amount of money. Does that track with everybody? Do you understand what I mean by that? So this is why you don't have to be realistic, really. I know that for every appointment I had it down to every cold call I make $2. So I don't have to worry if you said no on that call, and some of you probably did, because I made 300 a day. You don't remember it, but I called you. And if you said no, that was still worth $2 to me. So I don't care if you say no. Say no, because I make $2 every time. The fact is, what I'm saying is by measuring, by keeping records, which is what this master tracking sheet allows you to do, it allows you to measure your metrics. What I had to do to produce a certain result last year. And if you haven't, it takes about 6 weeks to get a good average. And that's you. It's just the reflection of you. Then you use that reflection to come up with these action steps. So you know, I said 100,000 was what we're using as an imaginary goal. And I know it takes me this amount of people to see to make this amount of money. Therefore, divide that by 100,000 by that number. I have to see this many people. And in order to see this many people, I have to make this many calls. Simple math, right? It really, really is that simple. If you believe. How many people don't believe it's that simple? Good, because it is. If you go about those calls with enthusiasm and determination, because there's going to be people who do say no, and it's your enthusiasm that gets you over that, and it's your determination that makes you make that next call. So when you set a goal, successful people always set the goal and work backwards. So that's why this sheet is set up like this. We set the money. If we've done our record keeping, we know what we're worth on a by-call basis, or a by-appointment, or a by-sell, whatever it is, and then you work those numbers backwards. It just tells you what your activity level has to be if you didn't improve at all. One of your action steps might be improve my closing ratio. If it looks like I'm having a hard time with these numbers because it's impossible for me to see 50 people a day. Well, there are things you can do about that. Improve your skills. That could be one of the obstacles. Not enough skill. Improve your skills. Read, study, get a coach, go to seminars, go to Successful Thinkers and learn how to improve skills. That's what we try to help you here with, and that's what we're doing today, is teaching you a skill to hit any goal that you set for yourself. This plan will hit any goal you set for yourself if you have the metrics to work backwards. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now you can use this in personal life, spiritual life, but we're talking about money, and money is measurable. Commissions are measurable. Even if you're a lawyer, you're on commission. If you're a doctor, you're on commission, because you don't get paid till the customer comes in and they pay you something. So this is all very measurable, and that's why it works. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. You can manage whatever your goal for 2014 is if you have the metrics to measure it. And if you don't, I'm going to pass out the next sheet when we're done. Take the next 6 weeks and find out what your metrics are. Because you have them. You know how many calls. You'll find out by keeping these records how many calls it takes you, or however many, whatever it is your activity is, to reach a certain dollar. And then you can divide that up into whatever your 2014 you goal is. There's no mystery. There's no real secret. It's math. It takes belief, enthusiasm, and determination. And by breaking these goals down into daily goals, you're dividing it into small pieces that will allow you to increase your enthusiasm just by hitting today. Don't think of what I have to do for the year. Think of what I have to do today. Maybe think of what I have to do this hour, and then next hour, and then next hour. And at the end of the day, you've hit what you had to do for the day. And at the end of the week, if you do that, you will have hit what you had to do for the week. And if you hit that for 4 weeks, you will have done what you need to do for the month. And if you hit the month for 12 months in a row, you will hit your entire goal without ever thinking about hitting $100,000. It will just happen as a result of your daily or hourly activities based on the metrics that you know are you. And maybe you have to improve those in some way, but you can do that through study and relationships with coaches. How many people have an accountability group? This is another great way to stay focused on your goal, is to be involved with an accountability group that knows what your goal is. Once you announce your goal to someone or a group of someone's, and they're saying, well, did you do it this hour, or did you do it this week, or this month, depending on how often you probably don't meet every hour, but every month maybe, every week maybe. And then they will help you. It will help you keep focused. The other thing is, once you've got this plan put together, post it in some place that you can see it all the time. Review this daily. It's very important. I gotta say, I'm really bad about that. I don't always practice what I preach. Post this. If you have to, take these little things and put it on little post-it notes and put it all over the place, so you can't help but see some of these daily things that you have to do to make sure you're reminded. Because this whole thing you may not look at, but if you just have a little post-it on your monitor or on your car your rear view mirror, or someplace you're definitely going to be looking constantly, just one thing at a time. Oh, you're opening the door. Oh, make five calls next hour, or whatever it is for you. Don't focus on the big part. Break it down into small chunks and focus that way. It makes it, and then once you, the thing that's great about that is once you reach that small chunk, boy, it makes you believe I can hit the next small chunk. And then once you hit that one, you go, I'm on a roll, boy. And now before you know it, your whole belief system has changed. And you've got more enthusiasm, more determination, more ambition than you ever had just by breaking it down into those smaller chunks. Because that's what building on success means. Success breeds success. So bring it down to small chunks so that you start breeding your success. So now, the last section is for affirmations. Who has affirmation? Who believes in affirmations? You know, there was a time I probably didn't think I believed in that, but self-talk is very important. If you ever hear somebody that's saying, boy, I'm just not good enough, guess what? They're not. They're not going to make it. If you hear the person that says, I'm a winner, guess what? He is. Affirmation, self-talk is very, very important. So, you know, I have some that I like, and they come from Tony Robbins. And so I like to use Tony Robbins because he's sort of somebody that I like as a mentor. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. My endless good now comes to me in endless ways. All that is mine reaches me in great avalanches of abundance. At last, the past is past. I've broken free and won. Now it's time to love myself and really have some fun. I actually don't use that one, it's too long. All I need is within me now. That is something that's very important. There's more here. But it's very important to write those affirmations. Say them every day. Some people get up in the morning and the first thing they do is have some affirmations to get their day started right. This plan is a no-fail plan. You believe that?
Yes.
It's true if you believe it and if you practice it. Now I want to tell you this right now. Learning it is not going to give it to you. Living it is what's going to make it. Learning this plan is not, you have to work this plan. This plan will not work for you unless you work the plan. You could write it down all day long. It's the action. It's not the knowledge that will get you to your goal in 2014. Make 2014 the year of you. If you need this on an electronic basis, I can email them to you. If you want some help with this, I'd be glad to talk with you one-on-one about it. I'm here to help you, to serve you in 2014. Thank you for being here today, and I wish you all success in the year of you.